small scale, and then you say, okay, what can you deliver which is better, and that will ever dream of that. So that the list, it makes, for example, a delivery service, and you just imagine that you can make something more of this delivery service. You have to propose something bigger. And after, you have to be focused on what is important to have. The nice to have, don't think about it, but just what is going to change his life. What is going to be, why you will be in love with your product, and put some metrics on it, just to say how many times he's using that. So with my product, how many times he will have to do something else. Then, so it's a shame that you can't see because it's written that you will have it. You have put that somewhere on the website that they can deliver. Okay. Because every item of the value proposition, it's important that you check with real customers or people that could be your customer. You will have 3 levels of checking your market proposition fit. Is that first, that to see if the problem is really solved with your solution. The second one is to see if the product is ready for the market. And the last one is to know if it will be business market. It means that you will make money with it. And that will be the second part of the proposition. When you have selected which customer you want to address, the first thing is to build something which we call an MVP, a minimum viable product, but it could be also a service. You can imagine anything you can test with your customer. And you will ask you a lot of questions of what the customer would like to have and what is nice to have, and just focus on what is important for him. So the second tool is about your business model. Everything is okay. Okay. Like that. You can always do that. Okay, so is my laptop charging? Everything is going. So I will try to keep on this way. So the business model is 9 blocks. That is, you are going to think about what is your customer segment. I will explain a little more. And what is important to remember when you build this business model is that to create value for your business, you will need to create value for your customer. But it's not enough to create value for your customer if you don't create value for yourself. Mean that when you will look at your proposition back to your business model, you have to zoom and to go from one side to the other one. It means that when you make a value proposition to one of your customers, you have to check that you are able to deliver it, that you are going to earn money with it. Don't propose something you are not sure you will have some benefits on it. So the building blocks we are thinking about on the customers is how you are going to address your customer, with which channel. Are you going to build an e-platform? Are you going to see your customer personally? And for each of them, you just check how it will work with it. The customer segment, so you must You may have different type of customer segment, and you have to develop a value proposition for each of them. Maybe at the end, you will be able to put everything together. But on the first time you check your customer, just take everybody independently. If it is people living in a town, people living outside, high technology people, low technology people, really make the map for each of them. It will take you a little time, but then you will have a full picture when you will grow and you will go from one customer segment to the other one. The value proposition is really what is going to change the life of your customer. And then you will have developed it in the previous part of the business value proposition model. The channel is how you are going to reach your customer in all the possibilities. The customer relationship is how you are going to retain your customer to make your customer go back to you. It could be some services, you are adding some loyalty cards, or any type of thing that makes that your customer is going back to you and not choosing another one. The revenue streams is how you think you will get money from that. It can be for a product, it can be a freemium, it can be retailing prices, it can be any type of thing, but you list all the one you want to do. That was the customer view of your product. Then you go on the left side of the model, which is going how you are going to be able to deliver. You will have to look about the key resources you need. It can be employees, it can be raw materials you will need. The key activity that your company is going to do to be able to perform, and then you will list all of that. The key partnership you will need to be able to work or to deliver, and of course the cost structure of your companies, and that you will set. Based on these two tools, you will be able to zoom and to check that what you're proposing is going to be successful in terms of customer satisfaction and of resources and of costs and benefits. To use that, so what, it was a picture there with the, but it just disappeared. Okay, what you have just to remember, if I want to summarize, is that each time you are checking a customer segment, just check every operation you want it to do. And just check you will have a good way to propose your business. Just check everything. And when that will be done, then, no. Where is the problem?
Laptop problem. Laptop problem.
Maybe. So I make one more try, and after. So at the end of the day, what you should have in front of you, because it has to be written that you can come back to it. It's just a set of customer segment proposition, the one you are going to take, the value proposition you are going to take, and that will be your roadmap to develop your product and services. And of course, you have always to remember that your profit is going or to increase the revenue or to defend or to decrease the costs. The other topic I would like to speak about is when you develop an organization, is to start with the meaning, to create a product or service to make a better place. And do you know who was Guy Kawasaki? Who knows Guy Kawasaki? So Guy Kawasaki was a marketing manager of Apple in 1984. Is the guru of all the startups models we are using today. So it's really that you have to make a meaning of what you are doing. Just make a product is not enough. You have to make a meaning in it. And you have, when you will be creating your company, you have really to remember that you should have a mission and a vision. So the mission is, why do we exist? Why are we there to help our customer? And the vision is how things will be different when we will be successful and change this world. And that's always what is important, that the people will buy because of the why. Why you want to deliver. You want to deliver the better service for any unknown reason. But then it has to be a meaning why you do that. I've seen after some companies that just wanted to make IT courses available for any people in Bangladesh. They have a vision. They want to do that in the next coming year. And that's why we are going to follow them and to help them to put in place this vision. If depending on the way you go from the why to the what, it will be, so if you go from the what are we doing and how we are doing it and why we are doing it, your mind is going to be just reproducing the same things. And you will be a non-innovator. If you go the other way, say why we are doing it, and how we can do it better, and what is going to do when we will do, then you will really have an innovator's perspective, and you will create things that nobody have created before. And that's what you want to achieve. Back to the reality, then you will be able to build back this minimum viable product you want to launch on the market, and then just check what is the minimum viable product, just to see what you think your customer wants. If they want just a small boat, a medium boat, or a big boat. And don't make the mistakes to make somebody too small if they want to make. But really think what will be the next steps for your customer. What we learn from this type of methodology is just that you have always to build, to measure the results, so you have to put in place some figure that you know that people will like or unlike, learn from the first version of your product, and then build another one. It's a virtual circle that every time you can put in place. When you will, so this is all models that you will be able to test in your everyday life, that you have always a market side and a product side. And you have always to check that what you want to do will be able to fit the market or will be able to give you revenue. Of course, you are not alone in the planet, so you have to understand what are the key trends which are around you, what are the market forces which are with you, and what is the macroeconomic forces in it, how the regulation will change, how the fact that internet will be cheaper will change, or if it is going to be more expensive, what is going to change in your market. And the industry forces is what is the tendency the market has now. We see that everybody wants to go mobile, so is it something you are going to go with, or is it something you say, okay, me, I prefer to be local and be better customer. You have to be or local oriented or global oriented, that industry forces you may have. It also depends in which market you have, if it is infrastructure driven, if it is scope driven, if it is product driven, that it will change the way your product will fit in the markets. And my last point is about your network. It's very important that every time you speak about your product, you are able in one sentence to say what you are doing. And each time you say, and based on what you would have done in the previous time of your value proposition and business model, you may be able to understand how a value proposition helps which type of customer who want to perform this task by using or performing better and using our product to do that, and then you can say how the competency is doing. You are doing this way differently as your competitors. And this is a 1 minute presentation. And you have to prepare it so well that you are able to do it, to deliver every time people is asking, what do you do? Because yesterday when I was screening the startups, I was asking, what is your value proposition? What do you do? And the people, they were taking so much time, and I say, can you answer in one sentence instead of one paragraph? And most of the people, they explain the things so complexly that we are lost. So try to make everything in one sentence. It's difficult, you have to do it maybe 10 times, but then it will be successful. The pitching, your value proposition is for every customer you are going to go to and say, this is what we do. If you are going to pitch your business model, it means how you are going to earn money. This is when you are going to look for investors. And I just want to show you an example of something that I think every one of you should know. It's the business model of Skype. So Skype customer segment is people that want to have inexpensive conversations through their computer. It's also companies that want to use cheap conversation. And the other segment is people who are producing hardware for Skype, like the headphones and some other material. That's the customer segment. And what they assume is that on the value proposition, so what is on the middle, you have that Skype is replacing all the other type of conversation we have with phones, with landline, with all these kind of things. And what is Skype offering is really an experience of making better communication, cheap communication. So that's the value proposition. And how they will sell this product is through the channels, so through your PC, or to some specific places where you can have, for a company, somebody from Skype will propose promotion to the companies. And the last part is to propose the adequate material that can be used with your computer to be able to use Skype. And the relationship you have with the people is that you may pay on a different way of payment for PayPal. They have a lot of possibility that you can pay. So, and when you can have a loyalty program. That's about the round circle. And what is the model of, because Skype, of course, is earning some money. And they have a part of it which is free, and another part that you will pay when you want to make external call or calling a long line or calling something else. That's the way they are making money. So it's the part where they are not. And maybe they will change their business model soon. But we don't know. But they have made this one. And on the other side, so on the product side, they know that the key resources is everybody that is the programmers, the people using the software, developing the software, and the key activities is really developing the software, looking for new customer, and the key partnership is with the people that are building the computer, the hardware. So it was Microsoft there, and a lot of credit organization when you want to pay. So this is the way, and of course they are paying the construction. So that's the business model of Skype, and you can apply it to your own business to know if everything is going smoothly. When you want to develop, you have to remember who can be your key partners. And your key partners can also be your competitors or bring people which are evidently in the market. So when you think about your partners, it can be if you want to export all the economic and governmental mission that is existing around the world that can promote Bangladeshi products and services around the world. You will have all your customers, which are network that will recommend you. It's all the provider you have. It's all your competitors. And when you want to enter into the international market, it will be your friends which are living abroad that can check the market for you. And don't forget, this is a big important part to check your product internationally. Just wanted to make a small difference of Switzerland and Bangladesh. Switzerland, we are a very small country. We have only 8 million inhabitants, but we are #1 in innovation. Bangladesh, you have a huge country, a huge population. You are local market. Switzerland, we don't have any local market. We are a complicated country where we speak 4 languages. Everything we do, we have to test it in 4 languages. So when all our industry is just for export, so we always think, is our product going to be fit for somebody which is living abroad? That's every time we think about that. So it's some successful companies here in Switzerland, but I've seen that most of you are using Android phone. Is that the case with using Apple phone, iOS? Okay. So that my example was about something that was developed in Switzerland, which is called Siri, which is the voice recognition element in the Apple phone. That was invented in a Swiss university, but it was, I mean, we didn't have anybody that wanted to buy that because Switzerland doesn't have any phone builder. So they had to propose it during a SwissNext exhibition in Boston, and Apple were interested in that and they bought it. But for the Swiss market, this solution will never be out of Switzerland if they didn't met people from Apple. I don't know if you know another application which is called Doodle, which is an agenda that you can share with your friend. Does anybody knows about Doodle? Yeah. Okay, so Doodle is also coming from a Swiss university. It was just a guy that wanted to organize barbecue with his friends, and he never could make it. We have to ask 100 times. So Doodle is also something that has been sold, but it was just related to a personal needs. And that's also successful to do like that. But our Swiss company, we cannot, we have to go outside. So that's why we promoted with the government. We put a lot of things in place to know the Swiss market. So we have connection with university. The university are training the students. We make a lot of things with R&D. And everything we have in Switzerland going to some kind of Swiss technology embassy in some countries. And based on that, so the place I was working, we're selecting every year 25 startups that was presenting their product in the US, in China, and in Bangalore, that people would like the product and maybe they will invest in it. So it took us about 10 years that became something that was successful. But that was the idea, just to promote everything we were doing, and especially with university, where the student had the time to think about the problem, to test, because what is in the business is you try, you fail, you try, you fail. And when you are at the university, it's a good place to start. I am also taking care of what we call baby entrepreneurs, which are people creating their company during their bachelor. We help them at the moment because we think that's a good moment with the students to try, because it will not be very important if they are not successful, because it's not a lot of money and they are still studying. When you are outside and you have to earn money, it's more difficult to try, fail, try and fail. So that's what we are developing for the students. So we are also developing a lot of competition, which we call the Startup Weekends. So in a small place like where I live in Swiss, French Swiss part, it's less than 500,000 inhabitants, and we make a Startup Weekend every month. It means that it's 100 students or 100 entrepreneurs that can test the market. And based on that, maybe some will create really a company, some others will not. So we want the people to try in a safe place what they have as a business idea. And they are using the two tools I was showing you. They use it in 54 hours competition, where they develop the whole value proposition and the business Canva model, and they pitch, of course. So that's the way we try to have the most effective product and services within our community of young startups. That was also about the way we interact internationally. We have all a different type of culture, and it's important that when you work internationally, you have to understand the hurt of everything. So everybody thinks the others is there. So you have to be aware that when you work with different people, we have different expectations. And what is fantastic here in Bangladesh, and every time you ask for something, everybody says yes. But you never know if it is yes, understood, yes, I heard, or yes, I will do it. Which is very difficult for us, but when we say yes, it's because we will do it. So every time I'm working with people I don't know, I say, please say no, that I will have confidence in your yes. And this is really important. So if you want to work in a global commercial environment, then you have to understand the cultural differences. And the cultural differences, cultural awareness is important to help the companies to build this international competence. I think it's there. So I'm sorry for the techniques. That was, of course, the most reasonable. So if you have any question, please, I will be happy to answer. So the presentation, the document will be somewhere for you available.
Any of you have a question for Nadine? Please. No.
Thank you very much for your presentations. My query is you focused on the innovation. So, in the perspectives, innovation is not easy things, and it's not available in the every moment everywhere. So, without the innovation, what are the other solutions to get a market in the for a new startup? Only innovation is the things, or any other options for the for expanding the market of a new business company?
It can also be, I mean, a new business, what is important, why are the people going to choose you? If you have two boxes, which one are you going to choose? If you on the market, you have always competitors, and in anything. So why are you going to choose product A or product B? Is because of something. And most of the time, the people are choosing something which have a meaning. And that's why your vision and your mission statement in your company is very important. I was looking to somebody's presentation. It was on the booth. It was the first value where we are humble and we want to listen to everybody. And I was thinking, is that really a vision of how we want to be able to compete with our competitors? And so I was it was the first time in my life I see a vision to be humble. Because, the entrepreneurs, we say we want to be the leaders. So I was very surprised in that. So maybe it's something in your culture, but it's something I've never seen. So, but when you choose something from people to IBM, why people choose Apple and why people choose IBM? Most of the people, they choose Apple because Apple is not selling computer. They are selling an experience. You can accept it that or not, but it's just that if you go to so I don't know, I've been in Bangladesh only from Monday, so I don't know which type of big companies, like, when you go in a Starbucks coffee, you go there to have the experience of a different coffee shop, something like that. And if you just like tea, you will not go to these places. So you will choose the place you go because of the meaning. And that's what you have really when you think about your product and your value proposition, to say why you are unique, why the people will choose you. But it's not the way that normally business is oriented. It's just the new way that people are looking for meaning everywhere now. They want in Europe, for example, it's a lot of product that have this palm oil inside, and everybody in Europe, they have seen the picture of Indonesia forest about the orangutan death, and they are boycotting every product which is using that. But because they want to save the planet.
And Rakhi, whatever I understand from your presentation is we should have a unique selling proposition, I mean USP. Do you mean that?
স্পিকারের সামনে
Do
থেকে
you
সরে
mean
যান
that USP should be the only focus point? And another question is, you mentioned the competitors to consider as partner.
I didn't spoke about unique selling proposition. I was speaking of value proposition. Value proposition is how you are going to fulfill the needs of your customer. I am not speaking about selling proposition. Selling will be when the unique selling proposition and why you are going to choose us. I am thinking another way around. That's what this presentation is about. Don't think about you selling. You think of fulfilling your customer needs. It's totally different as a mindset.
So that means seeing from a different angle.
It means that really you don't what it's true to say that, but in fact we don't care what you do if it's fulfill the customer needs. If, for example, your customer wants a square wheels, even if I know that if they should have a round wheels, then I will develop the square.
Yeah, of course.
And it's just that thinking of the customer at the heart of what you should do is different that I have a product and then I want to sell it. It's a different type of mindset. At the end of the day, it should be the same somewhere. But as a mindset, it's totally different because you're just customer oriented.
First of all, thanks for your eloquent presentation. Actually, our environment, renewable environment are quite different. You see, you are ranking first. I don't know what's our rank, I think 130 or something like that among the nations. Very low level of technology. And so when you talk from the position of strength, we are in a very feeble situation. So how can you how can we take your experiences in our situation? That's the first question. Second,
I prefer to answer the first question. Okay? So in fact, these tools are not at all technology oriented. You can make, for example, we used last week for a student the value proposition because we speak about sharing economy. So what she wanted to do is wanted to share that if she cooks too much, she wanted to open what she cooked too much to the others. So we spoke about the value proposition, and then the customer needs the customer job was eating. Eating, you have different ways to eat. You can go to the market, buy fresh food, prepare it, and eat it. Or you can go to a restaurant and then you eat what is ready. Or you can have a part of thing which is already cooked and then you mix it with fresh product. Or you can just open the fridge and say what is in it. And all this customer needs is eating. What is technology oriented in the four topics? If you go to the market, maybe I can put technology is going to the market, to the fresh market, but maybe it is not. The only thing I can do is to say, maybe if I say, okay, we are going to make some technologies going to the market, place where you buy fruits and vegetables. Maybe we can make a map of all the places where you can buy mangoes, and then put mangoes provided that this guy was better than the other one. So the technology is not at all a solution to any problem. It means the tools we are using is just checking what they do. And when we want to put technology, then we will do. This girl, she wanted to put technology because the only way to make the people aware that she has too many food is just to put that on a website, say, you can come here to the Bangladesh location and I can have some chicken for you. In fact, the customer needs it's just what you do with or without technology. And if you are a company, you say, what can be done to improve my customer experience by eating?
Well, actually, here the problem of credibility of the providers.
Yeah.
And actually, if you are technology backward, in an international market, who will come to you without you reproducing credibility? That's why I asked. The second question, actually, the trade-off between the value for the enterprises and the value for the customers.
Yeah.
If the value for the customers are positive, very positive, and the value for the enterprises is low, so shall we sacrifice that we have to abandon that, or we shall try to overcome that in course of time?
In fact, you have what the model is saying is that you have to go to the market the quickest you can. You deliver the first needs of your customer, the one which is the more important in the list. So when you make the list, you put all the activities with the nice to have to fundamental, and you focus on the fundamental. That's what the customer will not be able to live without. So the first delivery, the first sales, and on that, and then later you can develop a nice to have product.
Question actually, are you going to give emphasis on the existing improvement of the existing product or creation of the new product?
I mean, it's all the product is something you. In fact, it's not. So it's not a good question. In fact, it's how are you going to fulfill the needs of your customer? It can be an old product that can be adapted to the. You can present something which is existing that fulfill the new needs. But most of the time you have to adapt it. If, for example, I was in Hong Kong some months ago, I am not a tall woman, but if I wanted to buy something for me, for dress, everything was too small. So if you were focusing on Chinese market, you have to make clothes very small. If you're focusing on the Norwegian people, then the clothes should be very, very high. So the product is always the same, which is, for example, a trouser or a dress, but the category of customer is totally different. You will not use the same thing, depending on the customer. So the fact is a new product or a product that can be adapted, in fact, it's just to know if this product will fulfill your customer needs. That's it. It can be, but if you want to make better products, your product, you have not to think my product is this one and which customer I have to go. The think of that is absolutely the opposite. And then that's the reality of customer wants. But it means that you know your market. It makes a lot of time, a lot of experience before you launch your product. That's what is changing in this kind of methodology. That you only develop what the market wants.
I think next question actually whether we have to go for to emphasize rural market and then going to active market.
So then, if you do that, you have when you make the customer needs, most of the needs of the customer will be the same as needs like eating, drinking, I don't know what. It will be the same, but the customer needs in every market will be different. So your local market will be this type of product, and the Swiss market will be that, You cannot import in Switzerland. Every product you are importing must have the regulation and the usage in 4 languages. So if you want to send something in Switzerland, you have to translate it. It's no way. So it will be the same product for another market, so it will be little differences of how the thing will be. But the needs you are fulfilling should be the same.
But our program has been comprehensive in the globalized regime.
It's really adapting to your customer. It's not something you can say in general. It could be that some market. I just want to show you an example. As I am traveling a lot, I see a lot of products. For example, it was a very successful American company that was selling a board for golf. They were selling in a package of 4. Okay? And they were successful all over the world. Then they wanted to enter the Chinese market. And in China, they made absolutely no sale. And they couldn't understand why in all the countries where they are playing golf, people were buying their package of 4. Then they check with the national Chinese and American person and say 4 is the number of deaths in Japan. Nothing can be sold in Japan in package of 4. Make it 3, make it 5. And then when they changed the packaging in package of 3, they were very successful. So that's why it's a lot of things like that. Some colors you cannot sell in some countries because it has some meanings. The name of your product could be misunderstood depending on the meaning of this word in another. That is always adapting. So this golf manufacturer, he will send in the world world in package of 4, but Japan will be 3 or 5.
What's your suggestion for the R&D capability in Bangladesh?
I haven't understood.
R&D, the research and development capability in Bangladesh, how to develop it, because we have personal such infrastructure, so testing infrastructure, technological infrastructure for R&D.
So in fact, I don't have a real answer to that. But if what I suggest is that you can have a lot of expertise from your friends living abroad, checking what is the market where you want to go, what is the situation. And this is important because you cannot sell something to somebody you don't know or don't you have no idea of what is their needs. So it's not how are we going to be international. This is how are we going to adapt to our customer needs internationally. It's not this product I'm going to sell everywhere. It's totally different. It's a question of mentality. That's what the past, we do something and we sell to everybody in the world. But that's actually, it's a rejection of the people who can buy it.
Excuse me. I think we should give others the opportunity to ask questions. I think. Yeah. Please.
I am a software engineer, and to develop a software, first we create a concept and UML diagram, something architecture. And then we can verify the concept that it will work or not before starting the development. The question is we do it or we do not do it. That's different, but we can do. My question is before starting the development, how I can understand that this idea or this model will be successful, because when the iPhone was developed, the rim, that is the border of the iPhone. iPhone is not perfect, and at the last moment, Steve Jobs changed that. They changed that and they reject all the iPhones. iPhones he has created for going to release for market.
What is exactly the question? Because then you
My question is, how can I get the assurance that the idea or the model I have developed, or business model I have developed, or the solution I have developed for the problem will be successful in the business, it will be successful. This is my question.
In fact, that's one. So if you are a technology looking for a solution, a problem, or if you are, so in this case, your software should be used for somebody. You don't develop a software just because, oh, it's a good idea, I will develop something. What you should do is checking what the customers need, and then you develop the software. It's not about, I have a software, and it's really a technology looking for a problem. You cannot develop a software without knowing for which usage it will be used, because you will never find it.
Ma'am, my question is, before developing before starting the development of the software, I can get a confidence that by checking, testing that this software will work and it will serve the needs of the system. But how can I test that this software will be successful in business, software business? That is, it will generate profit for me. Before going market and before developing, before start developing, what is the test method, the process, or the idea?
So the first thing is you have to check that. If you look at the table, you have to check that you are really fulfilling a need, and then you check your value proposition, and you develop the MVP with somebody which is supposed to be your user. It's co-creation, and when you develop it with him, then you will adapt your software. And when everybody which is the same market needs, then your product will be adaptable to this customer needs. When it is another one, then you have to make a new iteration about your needs, the customer needs, and what you are going to fulfill. It's no insurance that it will work if you don't test it with people which are going to use it.
That is it is risky, and it may be risky, and
what is risky, to develop something that nobody wants?
No, ma'am, no. No, I don't take that meaning. It is risky, and I still have to go iteration after iteration to be successful.
That's absolutely that. That's the lean startup methodology, where you have to learn that I'm checking that, where is my fly? You have to develop, to check, to redo, to check, to redo. There's no other way that you are testing, and especially in software, without trying to solve it.
Okay, thank you.
I think.
Thank you for your presentation. My question is, if I'm not wrong, in your presentation, you said that as a company, when we go to the customer, we should deliver what we do in one sentence. My question is, sometimes customer may be not aware about my product. So how he will understand in one sentence? Maybe I need to elaborate to that.
In fact, you will never ever speak about your product.
Okay.
You will say that you are fulfilling this problem with your product.
Okay.
That's it. You don't say my product is working this way. You say you have these needs, my product good for you. We are the best. It's really your product. It's one of my side. We don't care about your technology. What we are looking for is the solution for my problem. So if I am late, if if I'm late to take my train, if I just want to know, is just I can call somebody and say I'm late. So the fact that I'm using an iPhone and Android or any type of thing, we don't care. We just have the opportunity to use an app which is going to do something. But the way it is done, and that's very difficult for people. We are developing software or product just to make the difference between I am fulfilling a need. Yesterday presentation, when I heard everybody was speaking my product and me, and say, okay, what's in it for me as a customer? Why should I buy it? Because it's something for me. So the fact is that you are able to fulfill this problem with your product. But how your product do that, they don't care.
So then how I will understand that what actually he needs?
Because
I need to, please study. Do you
in
think?
fact, what we are suggesting in all this thing is that you make these interviews.
Okay.
It's, I don't know if I have it back. It's on this one. So you just list all the customer job you think they are doing. One day in the life of my customer. You just make everything my customer is doing. And then you look, what is the pains he has? You just put it in red. And you say, what my customer will dream of. You just make a new list. And everything you think is very important, you put it in green. And then you go out. You check with people which are supposed to be your customer. And then you say, is it like that you would like the world? And then you have, that's what you think, customer assumption. The value proposition assumption is what you think you should deliver to the market. Then you go out and you come with that. The customer said, I don't care about that. And then after that, you only deliver what you want. One of my friends was just retired, was the head of the research of Logitech. So he just retired this month because Logitech building is just close to my office. And he said that one day they developed a product which was a scanner presenter. They wanted to have that because when they were discussing with R&D groups, they wanted to take a picture and send it to the development team, and then they were working on it and send it back and so on. And they said, oh, that's a great product, I have to launch it on the market. And in fact, it was a fantastic failure. And when Logitech director just speak about that, he said, that was something we wanted for us. We never tested that the market would like it. And in fact, the market hated that because it was so badly designed. And every time Yves Karcher is speaking about what she should do in the business or not, is always giving the example of untested product market is a failure. Full stop. So they are developing testing inside, outside. So we are on an innovation part. So when they develop the first MVP or something, they go in the building, say, do you have 5 minutes? And say yes or no. What do you think of that? What will you use that for? And we say that and that and that. And for example, so they have something like that, a presenter, and he said, this is my new presenter with a timer in it that says you blah blah, and you can see it's really good. And they say, okay, but it's too big to put it in my pocket. Because as a woman, I say, oh, of course, we haven't thought of that. Okay. So then we make a new design. Just because I say it's too big to put in my pocket. But they are big, tall guys, so it's okay. So it's all this little thing, iteration with a minimum viable product that check that you are ready for the market. And you can test a lot of things with a very simple, a lot of people are testing ideas like that. You just put on the internet, on your Facebook page, I'm thinking of a product that will do that, that, and that. What do you think? Then you will have the answer. During the startup weekend we are organizing, on the Saturday morning, we force the participants to go outside. So Saturday morning for us is the day where we have the open market. So you have a lot of people outside buying the fruits and vegetables. So we send them there to ask as many people they can, what about their business idea? And they came back, we thought that was a good idea, but in fact it was not. Or people thought it was fantastic and they even proposed something better than what we thought. But checking the market is really what you have to do. I know it's difficult, but it's the only key to success.
Thank you.
Hello. Okay, we'll take one more question, last question.
Please, just imagine a situation that today is 11th February, and tomorrow I'm going to launch my product in a foreign market. That market is very price sensitive. But I have designed my product and price and on the basis of that country. But on the next day, the country devaluated their money, the currency.
But in my country.
Suppose, so my price, if I sell, that will be negative.
Mhm.
Price will be negative, there will not be a profit, there will be loss because they devaluated their currency. So what can I do then?
So in fact, when you have made so it's one slide about the context. When I'm working in some countries, especially in Africa, I put a risk on the evaluation. You know, when I'm testing, coming from there.
Everything is okay, but my product is ready according to their price, their price sensitivity. But the government of that country devaluated the price.
You know, the Swiss franc was to the euro 120 2 weeks ago. We are now exactly €1 120. It means that all Swiss products just have 20% more than it was last week. So the opposite. So we are not going to sell anywhere. But then what are we going to do? We are going to propose some high value products. Maybe we are going to put the price lower, but as the market, you should never go in one market. When you are working with the model I was presenting that to you, this country, it means that you know the context of what you are doing. You see, okay, I am going in this country, what are the risks of this country? Is it low or high risky? And then in the same time, you focus on another country which have the opposite risk. I mean, we have an expression say, don't put all your eggs in the same basket. So the fact that you are one country, one product oriented is a very big risk that you will discover doing this type of exercise. So I have no wonder solution for that. In fact, that you should never do that. Going one market, one product. Because you have always to think what will happen if. And then to go, if it is a test market, it's okay. You just put it in a test situation. But if it is your only customer, then you have a big problem.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. So I have to maintain a country-wise portfolio.
What?
Product portfolio according to the countries.
Yes, product portfolio. Because you have a lot of, people are in every country, they have things they love. And then you make that list of the country where you think your product will be successful, and you just make a little range of that. Because it's very, very important. If you focus only on one market, when this market is down, it's finished. For Africa, it's the same. Political situations are changing. Everything changed from the one day. And then I was making, 10 years ago, Ivory Coast was a very stable country. And I was making a due diligence for somebody. And I said, I just want to put some risk on the country. And it was an Ivorian. I said, why do you put some risk on my country? We have very stable thing and everything. 2 days after, it was a problem in Ivory Coast. Everything was blocked. Nobody. So it's just because I have been working in more than 170 countries. So I am aware of this kind of things. I know that one other African country in some months will have problem because they have the same president for a long, long time. One day this guy will die. The day this guy will die, it will be a disaster in this country because it's nobody that will take his place. It will be a fight, and that for this country, I always put risk maximum, even if today it's a country very stable. But in the way when you check, I say check your customer, check the country also where you want to develop. And this is also when the people want to invest in Bangladesh, that's exactly what they do. They assess what are the risks on this country. And from the strike I've seen yesterday, it's not a risk that you can invest. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, we can't take any more questions. We're already running late. Thank you, Nadine, for an insightful presentation on how to get products and services that customers want. As a token of appreciation, I would request Ms. Farhana Rahman, Chairman of the International Committee of BICC, to present you Crest.
Yes, sure.
Thank you all for being patient and being this late. I know it has been a tiring day. Thank you. It's been a good audience. Good night.
You're right. I told you. How do you get the presentation?
Remember the name of the person. Don't get and you have all these because that value value and the business
For IT.
it's totally it's How did we develop things? That's absolutely how we are earn money. And that's totally when you will say,
Just your email.
on the presentation, it's my email address.
Sorry, huh? Project power to them, no? Power to them.
Wasting any more time, and maybe to Nadine. Thank you.
Speak Bangladesh.
আপনার নিজেদের কানেকশন ধরেনি
সবকিছু লেখা এটা ঠিক আছে খুলতে গেছে কালকে এখানে আছে যে ওজন না ইন্টারনেট অফ থিংস আরো আছে দেখেন
এই কালারে একটা ব্যাগ আছে
এই কালারে না সাদা সাদা
Yo! Go stop na dito. Talitik.